opinions or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Keep fans. Time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
Rowdy! How you doing, Ira? Are you feeling good?
You know what? I'm keeping perspective that it's just the preseason, but so far what we've seen from the players we need to see it from, yeah, Big O, I think there's an optimism going forward after a summer of what might have been.
Okay, I'm just, because Bitcoin's up 9%. It got over 29,000. So I'm just, really, that's what I'm pumped up about.
Yeah, but your Marlins lost a general manager today. So just when you think things are going up in some places, not so much.
Talking about that situation, what comes off right away, Jeter leaves like, hey, dude, are you going to spend money? No. Okay, I'm out of here. Kim, oh, hey, we're going to pick up your option. Just my option? We made the playoffs. I'm out of here. That's my impression from all of this, that like she has something better waiting for her, somebody that'll spend money or something, or we don't know what's going on, and she's been a mess behind the scenes, and somebody else has been making good decisions, which I don't think.
I don't think that's the case. I think it's the typical decades old. We need a little bit more to get a little better. For as good as the Marlins were, and interesting and exciting as they were still pretty close to 500, and they were nowhere close, Big O, to the Atlanta Braves. So I'm sure she went and said, look, there is a considerable gap we have to close with the Braves, and I need at least this much. And Sherman said, you have this much. And when you don't have the budget to play with, I think, Big O, you would almost agree. The Marlins sort of overachieved this year when you look at their run differential and what they did, but you need more. Sometimes you can't keep hitting your head against the wall. Sometimes you just realize this is as good as it gets. I can do better elsewhere.
By the way, Skip Schumaker pulled an Eric freaking Spoelstra, is what he did this year. He got you more than what you gave him. Like, you gave him something, and he, in return, made it even better than you ever thought it would be. So that's where I would give Skip Schumaker a crap. I mean, I watched the team. I give him a crap ton of credit the way he's handled everything. I thought he handled this beautiful. In fact,
I think
well. Don't screw around, because guess what? In a couple of years, he's gone too.
No, that's what I was going to say. I think future Yankees manager Skip Schumaker did a great job this season, and he'll get his in due time also. Absolutely, Big O.
Yeah, dude, he did a marvelous job. He reminded me of Spo. And speaking of Spo, my problem with this young man is more health than anything. But I like now that he's pissed, motivated, and everybody crapped on him. The 30 points in 3 quarters. It's preseason. Man, I rarely even take the regular season for the first half of the year even seriously, okay? So I get it. But watching Tyler, you can tell he's got a chip on his shoulders. He wants to send some kind of a message this year. And he has the ability. The only thing is, I hope he stays healthy, because if he does, the Heat is actually going to get a really nice bonus this year.
Yeah, I just posted a story at sunsentinel.com about him. And the one thing I would point out is this. The talk after the game on Sunday was about how much more efficient he is. There aren't those wasted dribbles. He's not wasting dribbles to nowhere. He's leaving enough time in the shot clock for others to eat, whether it's Bam, whether it'll be Jimmy. You know what this reminds me of, Big O? It reminds me of the progression of Tua. The way he began to see the game, the way he began to understand, what are we all talking about Tua this year? How quickly he's getting off the ball and getting the ball out. Same thing with Tyler. Tyler used to be dribble, shoot. Now it's boom, get to your move, get on the ball or get off the ball. It's that growth in efficiency. I think everyone this summer, when Tyler was being offered for Damian Lillard, previously for Kevin Durant, maybe for Bradley Beal, we're saying there's no more growth there, that this is all he is. He's a sixth man and all that. to see this growth, even in preseason. And again, Sunday was against the Grizzlies, a team with a defensive bent who play hard all the time. No, they didn't have John Morant. They didn't have their full lineup, but they played that exhibition hard. That still was work that was required by Tyler. The one word I would use more than any to sort of define Tyler to this point in the preseason is efficiency. He has been efficient, and that, Big O, is a different Tyler Herro.
Yeah, no, it's you can tell that there's something there with him, and he is motivated. I just hope he stays healthy. My man Jamal Cain. So what with the stuff that he's showing, okay, and one of the things I like about this kid is he's got an edge to him that he plays with. He's got a toughness to him, and I think that the Heat need that kind of toughness. I think it's important, but again, it's such a deep team now. How do you find time for a guy like Jamal Cain who actually shows you he can actually give you something?
What matters here, Big O, is for all you've seen when you've been to Summer League, and I saw in Summer League, and we did our Acura Pembroke Pines reports out there, you need to see a player like that who's able to complement. He's never going to be a leading man with this cast, but can he work with others? He showed that in San Antonio on Friday. He showed that against the Grizzlies on Sunday. Jamal Cain is not going to be a starter. Jamal Cain probably won't be a rotation player. But like you pointed out, when you have Kevin Love at 35 starting, and you have Kyle Lowry at 37 starting, and Jimmy Butler at 34 starting, you're going to have guys who are going to be out with injuries. You're going to have missed time through the 82-game grind. What Jamal Cain showed is, over this weekend, he played everything from point guard to shooting guard, small forward to power forward. That's exactly what I want on my bench, is a plug-and-play guy that when someone is out, go do this. I love the potential of Nikola Jovic. He's not ready yet. Jaime Jaquez still has to learn the league. I like having a 10th or 11th man that when injuries come, I can plug in. I think that's what Jamal Cain can be. A difference maker, no. But you know what, Big O? If he can give me 10 strong performances in the season, he's earned his way, and I think he's shown that the last two exhibitions.
Yeah, contributor is all he needs to
compliment.
I just love his toughness. And it's not like I've seen a ton of him, but you just see it. The dude has an edge to him, and he ends up doing stuff that you probably didn't even expect him to do. It's just one of those things. So he is, for me, I've been really, really impressed overall with him. Yesterday, what else did you pick up from the win yesterday from the Grizzlies?
I mean, I like that Tyler was efficient, that Bam was efficient, and Bam was interesting against the Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson was the starting center or a prime player this summer for Team USA when they went to the World Cup, didn't fare that well. Bam wants to be on the Olympic team next summer in Paris. That's sort of Bam's competition. And the fact that Jaren Jackson was Defensive Player of the Year, a award that Bam believes he should have won by now, you could see him taking it at Jaren Jackson. Now, during the regular season, Steven Adams would be the center. You'd have to go against him a little more as Bam playing center. But I like the fact of this, that guys have chips on their shoulders. We know Jimmy Butler's an MFer. But you know what? So is Tyler Herro. So is Bam Adebayo. You've even criticized Bam at times as not being that aggressive force and maybe settling for the feathery jumper a little. 4 block shots, 28 points, playing aggressive. That's what you need. Not going to happen on 82 games because the regular season doesn't matter in the NBA. But if I know that those guys have a little more MF in them, come the playoffs, that'll make a difference. And you know what? The Tyler Herro I saw on Sunday, you put that in that Denver playoff series, and he'd get over 95 points in that series. So it's all trending the right way. Tyler outscored Damian Lillard last night, and here's the irony. Tyler comes in to do his post-game interview, and on one of the monitors in the media interview room is the Milwaukee Bucks game. That kid, Tyler, is going to have a chip on his shoulder all year. And if it results in quality play, I have no issue with that.
What'd you think of the Greek and the Dame show?
Look, that's a dynamic 1-2 possibility. And during the regular season, when you play the Bucks and go on to the next game, maybe play them on the second night of a back-to-back, they're going to do fine. I still say if you give me Erik Spoelstra and his game planning for a 7-game series, like he showed last year, when Giannis was hurt, but what he did against the Celtics, yes. Are the Celtics more talented, Big O? Of course they are. Are the Bucks more talented? Of course they are. But The Bucks have a first-year coach in Adrian Griffin. He's been an assistant for a decade and a half, but a first-year coach. The Celtics not only have a second-year coach in Joe Mazzulla, but to the point that they just hired Jeff Van Gundy as a consultant, which sort of tells me that they want someone to help him a little. So you know what, Big O? The Celtics will have a season, the Bucks will have a season, but you're going to talk to me about this on our Acura Pembroke Pines report. But give me Erik Spoelstra against either of them. With Eric's playoff experience, I still think in April and May, the Heat will be fine no matter who they match up with, even with Dame on the Bucks this season.
And by the way, when I saw that move, I said, because Van Gundy was kind of rumored for a job last year, and to come out of broadcasting,
head coaching job, right?
Head coaching job. So when I saw this consulting thing, I was like, I think this is the baby steps now he's taking to kind of get back acclimated to the league, and in a year or two, he's going to try to get his name into somewhere. I think because of the TV thing ending, I almost feel like he's going to go into the coaching. Do you think that's the case, or do you think he's kind of done and he's just going to kind of?
No, hell yeah. I think those guys have it in their blood. And if I'm Joe Mazzulla, I'm saying all the right things about welcoming them and loving having a second voice and someone at practice. But you know what, Big O? You see this all the time. Yeah. Sometimes teams will not dismiss their coach because they don't have a better candidate on the bench. But sometimes teams do have a guy who's lurking. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen that lurking coach get the opportunity. Is it a 3-game Celtics losing streak? Is it losing 6 of 7? Will there be a moment where people will go, wait a minute, that guy was pretty damn good in New York and revived the Houston Rockets to a degree also. So I thought that was a very curious move to sort of have someone warming up in the bullpen for them.
Interesting. All right. How does the Harden Sixers soap opera end?
You know what? I think he's going to get his deal to the Clippers, and here's why. He's doing what Dame Lillard refused to do by being an SOB, by showing up late, by missing media day, by sitting out the start of the preseason, by giving press conferences and saying he still hates Daryl Morey. He's doing, if what Dame did that, Dame Lillard would be a Miami Heat member right now. There is, you know what? I'll let you think about this when you move on with your shows this week also. I'm not sure there are many better SOBs in sports right now than there is James Harden. You could say maybe what Aaron Rodgers did in forcing his way out of Green Bay and being a pain in the ass to the end there with all of his coaches.
We have one. We have one.
Who?
We have one. Jimmy Butler.
Okay, but Jimmy works within the team context. He's a son of a bitch to the other team and maybe makes it hard on some teammates. But Harden, as far as organizationally, Houston, Brooklyn, now Philadelphia. So I do think that eventually the Sixers will take less on the dollar that they want. And it's almost unfortunate, but Harden will get what he wants also. He doesn't give a rat's ass if he gets another $100,000 fine from the league. He is making so much money in his $30+ million contract and will that I think he gets what he wants. So I'll be curious because I think what the Sixers get in return, if it's Terrence Mann, they'll be fine. If it's just draft capital, they'll take a step back. Because let's face it, Big O, in some order, they're the Celtics and Bucks at the top. But we're all sitting here going, who's number 3? Is it the Sixers with Embiid? Is it the Cavaliers with what they started with Donovan Mitchell? Is it the Knicks making the next move? Is it the Heat who prove what they can do? So I think we're all still waiting for number 3 in the East, which will be a team with home court in the first round of the playoffs. And a lot of those eyes are on the Sixers.
Yeah. And, you know, the twisted part about it is we're going to put the Heat in the mix because we have the best coach in the league.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's just kind of the way it is. And Spo has kind of coached his way into us expecting the unexpected or expecting you to overachieve, because that's kind of what happens all the time.
He removes the element of doubt. Yeah. He removes the element of doubt to the point if they're in 8th place or 9th place or they're 4 under 500 in December, you go, remember last year and what happened? You hope that doesn't become a crutch for his players, but he certainly removes any layers. It's interesting. I just mentioned Joe Mazzulla. He loses 6 in a row. Jeff Van Gundy's there. Erik Spoelstra loses 6 in a row. People go, they were in 10th place last December. They'll be fine. That's the difference.
Yeah. Hey, he made it to the finals out of the 8th seed. What more you want from that guy? I mean, he shows you something every year to just prove this is how good he is. Okay. In fact, they should already raise his banner in that arena already. That's it. Might as well. Let's do it while he's already coaching. Just have it up there.
Put him,
Retire.
put him in Springfield also. Sure, I agree.
That too. Put him in Springfield while he's already coaching. What do you got going on the Sentinel?
Again, I wrote about my Tyler Herro's feature just about how he has the chip on his shoulder, but he's also doing something on the court, and his efficiency matters because he's yet to play with Jimmy Butler really since that first game in Milwaukee at the start of the playoffs. But I think you see now how he really fits this team. So that'll be interesting. My Ask Ira at sunsentinel.com this morning was on these injuries to Jovic and Jaquez. I do think are setting them back. And I think their rotation chances probably are being hurt because of that. So I think people who expected Jaime Jaquez and Nikola Jovic to be in the opening night rotation, folks, I would look more toward November or December. They need the court time. They're missing the court time now. I think that will impact the opening night on October 25th against the Detroit Pistons and the direction Eric Spoelstra goes.
All right, good stuff as always. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Ira, as always, have a great week. Thank you, my friend. We'll catch up
next time in our Acura Pembroke Pines report. Thanks, Big O.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's in Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.